Hey guys, I just wanted to make a video. I wanted to talk about, some things, put my input on it. The first thing I wanted to talk about was, addiction. I feel like, people it is a big deal. There's multiple things you get addicted to. You get addicted to, smoking cigarettes or, vaping or weed. You can get addicted to any of those things. It's not a good thing, but, growing up, from school, I would always, hear, oh, if you do it, you're going to immediately get cancer or something like that. They would tell you that. And let's just be honest, they would. Kids. But, the truth is, and I don't do it. I don't do it myself. I just know people that do it. But I feel like, people make a big deal out of it for no reason. And I feel like it's not that big of a deal, honestly. Because unless you're the one doing it, why are you worrying about it? But that's something I've always, realized, like, growing up. Because, some kids, they maybe use it to get out of stressful situations. People say it worsens your stress. Well, who cares? Maybe it works for them. You never know. It's different for every person. It's like a blood type. It's different for every person. Some people have the same, but some people are different. It just depends on. Well, actually, doesn't depend. It happens. It's just whenever you're born, you're just made that way. Different blood type. You have different way of dealing with things. And, say you smoke, maybe it'll have a different effect on you than others. Some people, it doesn't even have an effect on some people. Honestly. I feel like people should just worry more about themselves than, other people, because they'll make a big deal of it. And it's almost like bullying. Sometimes I've seen people get bullied for doing that stuff. And I would actually stand up for them, because you gotta think about it. You never know what's going on in someone's life. You honestly never do. Somebody's parents, something could happen to their parents, and you wouldn't know it because you don't live in their life. You just never know, what someone is going through. If I was going through something, I don't think you'd be able to guess very well. You wouldn't be able to tell. It's very hard to see what someone's going through just from the outside. Maybe if you talk to them, maybe their voice is shaky, or say you go into their house, maybe they're nervous around their parents, they're super scared around their parents. Maybe, that could hint at something. I'm not going to say what it is, but it could hint at something. But things like that, they're very serious. But you can never, realize what is going on in someone's life from the outside. That's why people say don't judge a book by its cover. I know people think it's stupid, but it's really not. It's one of the most true things I think I've ever heard. It's it's like people making fun of a disabled person. I feel bad for them. They weren't chosen to be made that way. It's just what happened. They just happen to be born like that. You can't choose how you're born. I'm playing really bad right now. I'm Ghost, by the way. That one. But you can't choose how you're born. It just happens. You would have no idea by hearing my voice if something's wrong with me right now. And that's what I think ruins it. Say a kid had autism. You sometimes won't even realize it until they tell you. And then, some people, if you tell them, you say, oh, I have autism, you tell them that, and they'll just bully you, and you don't even, they didn't even think you had it. I feel like people just need to be more cognizant of people's emotions and more aware of their emotions, and not just judge them for, how they were born. Because they didn't choose that. It's like a guy being born at, or being born and he grows up to be, 5 foot. Can't judge a guy on that. Oh, he's short, so, that means he's dumb. That's a really bad reference, but you get the point. You're judging someone's smartness off their height, which doesn't correlate. So how someone, treats you doesn't correlate on how they were born, or how someone's personality doesn't correlate how they're born. Yes, it mildly affects it, but, it doesn't change whether the fact they are nice or mean to you, or they're a bad person or a good person. You should always be nice to someone, because, you'll never know if you'll meet them on your way up or your way down. My mom, she would always say, kill people with kindness, and I think everybody says that. It's just, it's made fun of. I feel like I've literally seen kids laugh at the term. I feel like it's a very important term, because it shows that you care. And someone could be going through a hard time, maybe that's why they're being mean to you. But you just gotta be nice to them. Because there's no point of saying anything if you don't have anything nice to say most of the time. You can get mad and say something every once in a while. It's not an excuse. But, you can. It happens. It happens to everybody. We're human. But if you are constantly rude to someone, it's very frowned upon. You just shouldn't do that. Because, what if someone you're rude to decides to, what? I'm not going to say it, but yeah, what if they decide to do that? Then imagine how guilty you would feel. And if you didn't feel guilty, I feel like that'd be even worse. But, people do that. That's why you have to be so kind to people. Because I'm not going to be like those old people who were like, I'm not making fun of old people, by the way. I'm not going to be like one of those people who are like, people are so soft nowadays. I'm not going to put my opinion on that, but, some people are. It's okay. We're in a different generation, changes happen, and changes aren't bad. They're made to happen. Changes are made to happen. Because without change, this world would be kind of boring. I'm playing so bad right now. Because imagine if, we'd never changed the light bulb, and it was just, like that forever. We never put batteries into the light bulb to keep it going on. We just always had to screw it in. The lights would never change, Imagine, think of a PC. Imagine we always kept the first CPU we ever made. That would hold us back for a long time, right? So we need change to happen. And it's okay for change to happen. I feel like we need to realize that change is okay to happen. Because without change, where would we be right now? Even if the change is bad, one day it'll end up being good, most likely. You just never know. You can't predict the future most of the time. You can, sometimes. You honestly can. Like, say someone, you can tell by someone how they're acting. What if they do something one day? Like, you can tell. I'm not gonna, explain everything, because, I'm posting this on YouTube, and they have very strict rules, but I'm not going to, say anything about that. But you just never know. And I know how we moved from, addictions to this. But it's a big thing. Like, people doing it made fun of a lot. But I feel like I don't think addictions should be standardized. You shouldn't be proud to have it. I will say that you should not be proud to have it. But it's also not the worst thing in the world, Things happen because maybe you're going through something, and you started smoking to get through it, but now you're addicted. Things happen. That's why you gotta talk to someone. There's lines for that. There's always somebody to talk to for that. And, you just go talk to them. And they can actually help you out. Like, They literally will, and the the dopamine boost you'll feel whenever you do it is amazing. And you'll feel very accomplished. You'll feel like, you've done something. Because, some people, they live their life feeling like they don't have a purpose, but so they start doing that too. But, if they do that, if they quit and they accomplish that, that's a huge accomplishment. Like, most people don't realize how hard it is to, do that. I feel like people are just like, oh, why don't you just quit? It's not that easy for people, and I realize that it's really not easy. It's really not, because your brain, it's part of your brain function. Like, it literally becomes part of your brain. Like, your brain, it like becomes to where, oh, I need this. It just does that. It just fills in. You'd have to look up a video, but you will see like what happens. Addiction is real, and it needs to be, realize that it's real. We need to just realize that. But that's all for today's video, guys. I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit. I might make more videos in the future on stuff like this, like just talking about my opinion on things. But I hope you guys have a good day.